Wow. Okay, it's happened. All those weeks, 2 or 3 weeks of editing, um, I've actually now gone live. First video went up yesterday sometime. Um, Great. I'm just uploading the next batch now. I think because there's so many, I don't want to be too far ahead. 'Cause if I release them weekly, I'd be like 13 weeks behind with the videos. I'm going to try and maybe like these early ones. I don't think many people will watch. Although I have had 14 views so far, and one comment which I've yet to read because I'm still waiting for it to upload when I noticed. Um, but yeah, uh, but yeah, these first few videos. I mean, if you've watched this, you may have already seen them. They're not the best, are they? I mean, it's literally because they were so jumbled of filming. I've tried to string something together out of them, and I appreciate it if you have actually watched them and sat through them. Um, but yeah, uh, I'm going to try and get those out maybe twice a week. I'm going to try and regularly upload on a Wednesday because of my work schedule. Um, but maybe I'll release some on a weekend as well, just for these first few videos to get them out there, so that maybe I'm only like a couple of weeks behind. I may give myself a bit more leeway to start with because I haven't yet obviously started a kind of like a routine of filming, then editing, filming, then editing. So I don't know how long that's going to take in that sense. It may be that I record earlier in the week and then do editing and uploading on a Friday before I start my shift. So, but we'll see how it happens. As I've been watching these things, I've kind of like said lots of things in these videos that I'm like full of ideas. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do that. I'll fix those thimbles. Which I didn't because then I found the metal thimbles that I thought were too small. You could actually expand them and put them on your finger, which I had to expand them a lot to fit on my hands, on my fingers or whatever. But yeah, uh, yeah, there's a lots of cringe from me going on, so I apologise if you feel that. Watching yourself on video is just really weird, to be honest, especially when you have to edit it and go over the footage all the time. Uh, but yeah, um, so yeah, I'm live. So I can probably start knitting again soon. And it's still got quite a few videos to finish and do proper edits of. But yeah, nearly there, nearly there. I can get back to what I'm doing, what I want to be doing. Um, Stay tuned. I'm just waiting for some other videos to upload to the channel now. Got some rendering. And today I had a surprise in the post from something I ordered a while back that's taken a while to come because of international shipping or whatever. And it was a book that I'd ordered because this month, because of doing all the video stuff, I've not been knitting. So I thought, well, there's no point spending money on wool. I mean, there is probably no point spending money on wool all the times that I have as well, considering how slow I am at knitting. But yeah, it's arrived today. I thought actually I do have some other books that I've got. I thought I'll show you. So when I first started knitting, um, after I got my initial batches of wool, I did actually get two books. I thought, oh, I need to know patterns and stuff like that, and basics. So I've kind of bookmarked a bunch on Amazon, and eventually got two of them. Um, Obviously, once I got them, I was quite intimidated, to be honest, looking at the patterns in there. So the first book is this one. Um, it's basically lots of Nordic fishermen sweaters, as it says on the title, and sailors for that matter. and there's a lot of good, chunky looking sweaters and stuff like that in there. But then I was starting to read the text, obviously, which tells you how to make them, and my brain just went fuzzy. It's like, I've tried watching videos as well that explain it to you, and when they explain it to you in a video, it seems like it makes sense, but then reading it in the book, it's just like, I'm not getting it. I can't see it. So whether I'll get around to actually knitting from a pattern one day, we'll see. That'll certainly be a new skill to learn. That is obviously my primary focus. Um, but yeah, it's kind of quite intimidating. I think I've said that already, but it is. No two ways about it. It just feels like another level. I think that's probably why I've been focusing on learning the techniques of constructing things, because I'm more of a visual learner, I guess. If I can see someone doing it, I can pick it up and then understand it. Whereas I was never very, very good at book learning in that sense. Um, so yeah, I kind of left school with like practically no qualifications, or no useful ones anyway. And everything I've ever done, I just learned on the job, kind of thing. So the other book is this one, all about knitting stitches, which this one was a bit more useful, with lots of different uh, visual instructions on how to uh, create different types of stitches. And obviously, this is going to be my source book for when I try out different stitches for each project. Um, and that book works for me a lot better than the other one, which is literally just nice glossy pictures of jumpers and then just a bunch of text that just seems like gobbledygook. Even though I used to do computer programming, people will probably think that's just gobbledygook. You know, I can understand that for some reason, whereas knitting instructions I can't. So yeah, so that knitting stitches thing has been more useful than the other one so far, and is one I will go back to. But then this month, or yeah, earlier this month, I thought I'd get some more books instead of one. Um, and obviously, knowing the difference between the two books, I kind of avoided some of the pattern books that I'd um, bookmarked, and went instead for a few more basic ones, ones that kind of are a bit more visual. And so the first of those was this one, the Doodle Knit Directory, which has a lot more visual, like, I think, charts, is that the right word? So basically kind of like graph paper type stuff with bits coloured in, um, uh, which seems to make more sense to me than just written instructions. Um, and obviously the thought with that is, obviously, now that I've done something like the jumper, I know I can do, to a degree. I can't finish it well, but I can do the bulk of the knitting. So I thought something like this Doodle Knit Directory uh, will help me just throw some other element in. So if I'm just knitting a jumper or a t-shirt, I can just look at one of those charts and just insert it while I'm doing it, kind of thing. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's my intention. So hopefully that will weave its way into one of the projects that I'm going to try and figure out what I'm going to do next once I'm done with all this video editing and uploading. So yeah, this kind of break of not really doing much knitting. I've done a little bit of knitting, like now that I'm waiting for videos to render and upload to YouTube. There's not much else I can do then, so I've just picked up my sock and I picked up my glove, made some progress on that, and just done a few rows each of those at the moment. But yeah, so in this gap, I'm trying to kind of like get some thoughts in my head about what I'm going to do and try and visualize my next project. And to help me with that again is I bought this one. Now, yes, it's crochet. Yes, it's Pokemon, but that's not unusual for me. Um, Having bought the original games for myself way back when, um, and it still remains one of my favorite games. I'm not much of a gamer, but things like Pokemon are my kind of game. Pokemon, Minecraft, that kind of stuff. Um, so I bought that because it looked simple-ish, a good way to kind of maybe get into crochet at some point. Because it seems like you knit a square and you put the pattern in, but I thought you crocheted the pattern into the square. But now that I've got it, it looks like you create the square and then you knit the Pokemon faces on top of it, or crochet the Pokemon faces on top of it, which isn't quite what I was looking for. But then I thought, if there's a way to hide the jogs on my jumper, I could do that. I could knit Pokemon faces, not knit the squares, knit the Pokemon faces, crochet the Pokemon faces, and I could just like attach them onto the jumper to cover the jogs. It's a good idea, isn't it? Um, so yeah, that's my thinking. I'm going to adapt it for that. But again, like I said, maybe it's a way to get me interested in trying crochet a bit more. Um, we'll see. I mean, uh, again, there is charts and stuff in there. They're a bit weird, not like knitting charts. They look more like kind of like uh, nerve maps. If you've ever seen like X-rays of nervous systems or something, it's just all spindly lines everywhere. Kind of the if when you see like an image of a human body X-rayed, but it only highlights like the arterial system or something. So that might take a bit of getting used to. I may need to try and knit something a bit more basic. Crochet something a bit more basic first. But yeah, that is on my to-do list now. It probably won't be the next thing I do because because I am thinking of something, doing another jumper slash t-shirt, just to kind of try and learn from what I did with the jumper, but make it better. Um, but again, I also wanted to give myself again tools that I can use to kind of pull something together with, that help me learn how to work with uh, different colors and techniques. So the last book I got, the one that arrived today, that I think actually came from America all the way over from the US, is this one, Mosaic Knitting. I've seen a couple of videos on mosaic knitting, and it seemed quite interesting. So obviously, one of the things that that's got to be on my to-do list if I'm learning knitting is a blanket, and mosaic knitting seems like a simple way uh, to maybe experiment with that and maybe use up some of the odd bits of wool that I've got that maybe won't stretch to a jumper or a t-shirt or whatever. Um, and I thought doing mosaics will help me get there. So I can just focus on doing the odd mosaic, and then at some point pull it into something else like a jumper or a cardigan, something like that. And I thought, well, that again, it's a tool. It's something that isn't a full-on pattern, but it's something I can insert into what I already know when I'm ready, uh, and just work those little bits in to kind of build my confidence and the techniques and stuff like that. So yeah, so those are the books that I've kind of got now, and hopefully some point you'll see them make their way into whatever I'm going to be doing, because the next thing I need to do is sit down with my wool and figure out what I'm going to do next. Stay with me if you want to keep posted on that. And yeah, I'm just gonna put all these back now, but I'm just gonna try and get these videos done. I've actually, I can't remember if I said this as well already, but I've already finished the last edit of the videos that I filmed. Now I'm just going in and putting like soundtracks on where needed, because there are some videos where the mic obviously wasn't turned on, or I've sped up a bit of knitting, um, and maybe some B-roll or something on in the videos of other bits and pieces that I want to insert, and then all of those videos will be done and uploaded. I've done up to 6 videos now that are on YouTube, which means I've got 7 left. So that's pretty much. The first ones were harder to do because obviously I was figuring out what I was doing, but the other ones went a lot quicker. So I'm hoping that next week will be my last week of editing these videos and getting them uploaded, and then I can get back to. So it'll be like practically a month of no real knitting kind of thing, you know. So, oh man, it's been hard to be fair. You know, keep looking at my knitting, dreaming of my wool, and just wanting to get my hands on something else now. So yeah, I think I need to take stock of my wool, um, just so maybe kind of group it together by like type of wool or color of wool, and then yeah, see how much of it there is, and make a start.
We are now approaching Ashchurch for Chixbourne.
Please mind the gap between the train and the platform, and take care when stepping down from the train.
Okay, so I'm out today for a day out. It's supposed to be quite sunny, but there's a few clouds in the sky. Um, yeah, I'm in Bristol. Why am I in Bristol? Because it was the cheapest train ticket I could find for the day. So here I am. Obviously, it's nice because I'm by the water in the centre. It's just a different change of scenery for me. So kind of take a break from the video editing and just sit down, relax. I have brought some knitting with me, so we'll see if I actually get to any of that. But yeah, I'm just kind of a chill day today. I'm at a point where with the knitting that the gloves and the socks I brought with me, where I'm changing up. So I'm doing the heel turn on the socks and the first finger on the glove. So not exactly the best environment to be doing it. Maybe kind of learning something new and hoping I take it on board, but we'll see. So yeah, I'm going to get on with that and enjoy my day. Okay, I've actually found a coffee place because the weather's turned a bit. So yeah, so this is the glove as done before. I've counted the stitches; it's about 42. So I'm just going to separate them out for the fingers. I've got following nimble needles layout. I'm going to do split up, divide the stitches for each finger, but with stitches between. So you've got the gaps between. And then, yeah, I'm not going to go with his method of doing the fingers though. I'm going to use something that I saw from Lucy Neatby. It's a video that I saw literally yesterday when I was thinking about getting on with this. It's literally double knitting. So I get to do double knitting again, but hopefully not as disastrously as on the bag, the infamous bag. So yeah, so I'm just going to kind of crack on with that. I'll be back. Okay, so I'm going to use double pointed needles, and it's the return of kebab skewers, although a different size this time, 2.75. So let's see how this works. So essentially, you double knit each finger, um, rather than having to kind of like work them back and forth on like across multiple needles. You can just do it on the one, and then obviously it'll build up the finger in the same way that I did my bag, really. So yeah, I'll give that a go, see how it works out. Okay, so I've got those on. Let's see, I've separated them onto 30 pn, and I've alternated between each side of the round. So hopefully now I just knit and purl, turn it around, knit and purl, and hopefully the finger will get knitted. Okay, it was inevitable, wasn't it? So look, there we go. I'm making progress, knitting a finger. Except it's a bit of a useless finger because it's sealed at the bottom. I think the rest of it might be a tube, but I think when I picked up the stitches, I think I knitted across from the wrong side. So instead of like just continuing the gap that obviously the round is given here, I've obviously knitted that side over to this side and this side over to that side and sealed it. So I'm going to have to unravel it and then start again. Okay, so that was useful, wasn't it? I've tried knitting again outside, and again, it's just led to lost stitches, etc. So I don't know if that's just me or just because my mind isn't fully on knitting when I'm outside, then it causes issues. Um, so yeah, we'll see if maybe I just need to do it more, and then I'll get better at it. Um, but otherwise, it just feels like maybe knitting outside is a bit of a lost cause. So yeah, that I didn't realize it'd be so difficult to unravel stitches, But maybe I'm just out of practice. I'll leave it till I get home, and then yeah, I'm just going to enjoy the rest of my day now. Got coffee, the Coke, and yeah, just sit by the water again. Wow, finally done it. All of the videos that I filmed before I started to do the editing up until the point of the jumper are now done. So now I'm just uploading them onto YouTube, and I can start getting on with other stuff. Finally. So I'm going to pick up the glove and the sock again in the meantime, and then I'm going to start going through the woolen stuff that I have, or yarn, because I know most of it actually isn't wool as such, and just kind of try and work out the quantities I've got and what I can work with in terms of projects going forward then. So that might be the next video. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's a relief now. So I mean, obviously now I have to kind of get the schedule, or not schedule, the routine of knitting and editing and whatever. But I think I've said before, I'm going to leave myself like a couple of weeks leeway on getting that done, just in case something comes up or whatever. So I'm going to do double release videos for a few weeks, and then go to weekly on Wednesday. If I come up with like bonus content for whatever reason, then maybe I'll chuck that out on a weekend. But again, that's gonna be stuff that I've got laying around, maybe, or just I film really quickly, that I can literally just then upload on a Friday or something before I get into work. So yeah, I think that's it then. So now, this channel kind of, although it's been live for a few weeks, probably by the time you're watching this, for me, it is officially go time. So, hoorah for me. Bit of a weight off now. It feels like I've forgotten what knitting's about, even though I've just been watching myself do it for like a month. Wow. So yeah, it's a Friday for me today. Oh, that's it. It's a Friday for me today, and it's also the 15th. It's exactly more or less 1 month since I actually finished the jumper. So it's taken me a whole month to get all those videos pretty much done and uploaded. Wow. Oh, there we go. There we go. Anyway, thanks for watching if you are, and goodbye.